We are 2 hours into trading today. The market made a new all-time high. No, that's not an April Fool's joke. It is April 1st, though. The market did have a nice opening move higher, and now we are falling into pre-holiday quiet trading. So let's take a look at the market. Then let's take a look for some excellent stocks that we might be able to take advantage of. I'm going to show you a feature that is perfect, not only for day trading on a day like this when it's going to be really quiet, but also for swing trades. And I'll show you how to set up these custom alerts and these triggers. So first, let's start with the market. You can see how the S&P 500 gapped higher, took out the prior day's high. In my pre-open market comments this morning, I had mentioned to you, we want to see this gap higher and we want to see a compression. This is the most likely pattern that I thought would happen today because overseas markets were strong. We had some decent economic news. We also had TLT moving higher, which meant that interest rates were moving lower. And I really like that movement because it sets up well for tech stocks. You know, I've been mentioning that so far this week. In any event, we got the compression, told everyone be patient, and we got the breakout to the upside and a small drift higher. There's not a lot going on today, so this is going to be very, very quiet trading. I do believe that this bodes well for next week. Why? Well, these gaps higher to a new relative high have frequently been faded, and you see that opening gap tested. The bid was so strong today that they tried to nail that low of the day and they couldn't break it down. So then they started to rally it. Well, what does all this mean? It means that these profit takers in here are met with demand. There are buyers lined up. They want to buy everything that you will sell them. And that's why eventually the market moves higher. So I do think that we've got a lot of good things happening right now. We are a couple of weeks away from earnings season starting. That typically attracts a lot of buyers. Interest rates, as I mentioned, those yields have started to come down. The economy is on the brink of a huge economic boom. And you've got the Fed sideline. They've said we're not raising rates, not until 2024. We need to see substantial improvement in the labor market. ADP came out yesterday, 517,000 new jobs created in the private market in the month of March. Excellent, excellent number. Today, we had ISM manufacturing came in at 64.1, I believe it was. Just an unreal number. You hardly ever see readings like that. We've had official PMIs coming out, lots of really strong economic news. We're going to get the unemployment report tomorrow. The market will be closed. That's a little bit unusual, but everyone's leaning on that ADP number. They believe that the number is going to be strong. So we may see that reaction Monday. I don't think we're going to get a negative market reaction. I think we'll see a good number. I think we'll see the market hold gains. We have end of month, beginning of the month fund buying helping to fuel this move, and we have a nice rotation into tech. Let's make sure that we take a look at that D1 chart, the daily chart, and you can see that breakout right there to a new high. We'll take a look at QQQ, and there you can see downward sloping trend line that I've been referring to, broken to the upside. We're also through this horizontal resistance point right here. We'll put up the major moving averages so you can see where they come into play. That 100-day moving average provided support, broke it once, tested it a bunch of times. Now we're moving higher. This looks really good. TLT we'll take a quick look at. I think we could have a low in TLT. This is a higher low double bottom. Can't get too excited about it because this selling pressure has been so strong. This base is going to take time to form. But the key point here is that rates are not going up. If they just stay where they are right now, the market will take a deep breath and it will get used to that. But if we do see bonds start to bounce in here, yes, interest rates could come down a little bit. This low, if it stays intact for a month or two, it's really going to help the market because then the economic recovery is going to be underway. I like what I see in the market. I am bullish. The other thing that I liked was you can see these little dips in here, very brief, and that's what led me to believe earlier that we might see a buying climax. Didn't happen. This dip actually took quite a bit longer to establish the low and to rebound. That would be concerning if the next one took even longer. That would be a sign of resistance. It's not what happened. Very quick little dip here. That tells me that buyers are much more aggressive and they weren't going to wait to see if the 100-day was tested. They were anxious to buy again at that 50-day moving average, and now we are making a new all-time high. Corporate guidance in Q4 was fantastic. I think we're going to have an excellent quarter. So now that we have the backdrop, I like the market. I think it's going to continue higher. We've had a pattern. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. I think we're going to continue to see that, but we've only taken a couple steps. I think we've got another push higher, maybe to SPY 410 before we retrace a little bit. So there is still plenty of upside for next week. So I like it. So let's go in and let's take a look at a stock that might set up well. Yesterday, all I did was go into Pop Bull and I was able to find lots of great opportunities. Here's one that I like right off the top, Nvidia. I could go through each one of these. Let's do that. That's nice. Breakout to a new high. CRM. For those of you who like bottom fishing, I'm not a big fan, but you have a double bottom low here. Stock is through horizontal resistance. Could be a good bullish put spread keying off of that support around that 295 level. Again, this is not my favorite type of setup. Nvidia, I like that. We're going to come back to it. Microsoft, also nice. You can see compression right in there with horizontal resistance. Stock is through that horizontal resistance, upward sloping trend line. Microsoft does not have fantastic option implied volatilities, so you're going to have to go pretty close to the money if you like Microsoft. That 332.50 strike price would be one to key off of. Nvidia, a little bit more volatility in this stock. Cup and handle formation off of a relative low. Breakout through horizontal resistance. Breakout through 100-day moving average. Additional support right here. So I like to see how many different levels of support there are between the current stock price and the short strike price that I'm looking to sell. This would be a natural strike price to sell. Maybe not right on the 200-day moving average, but right down here at 500. So I would be looking on Nvidia to sell a 500, 497.50 bullish put spread. Let's see when those earnings releases are. 520. So we got lots of time. So we'll bring up the option chain. We'll take a look. This is the April 30th expiration. I cheated. I took a look at how far out I'd have to go to get the credit that I want. And it's not quite there, but this stock moves around, so it could get there. And the trade here would be to sell the 500 puts and to buy the 497.50s. You can see it is a dime bid on that spread. Dime bid offered at 70 cents. Can I get 50 cents for it? Well, that's what I need to want to do that trade. So that's one that I really like. That's your trade of the day right there. I do like Nvidia. Lots of nice things going on. We've got that tech breakout. Stock has been able to hold major support. You can see the horizontal support here. Little cup and handle through the 100-day moving average like Nvidia. Do I go out and buy Nvidia right now? Do I go out and buy Nvidia calls? I think that's a little bit too speculative, a little too dangerous. The market, again, it's floating higher, it's grinding higher, but it's not like we have a full head of steam. And that's what you would need to really propel that stock. I like selling out of the money bullish put spreads. Much higher probability trade for us. So let me show you something that we can do. Here's the backdrop. Always important to put everything into context. I like the market. I think the market's going to move higher. I would like to buy a dip. I don't know that I'm going to get a dip. The market is so flatlined in here, but there are lots of stocks that really look good today. Gee, if I could only find a way on those super strong stocks to buy a dip, then I could buy them knowing that the market could move a little bit higher and that stock should be able to rebound. Well, how are we going to do that? I'm going to show you a way, and we're going to use our custom alerts. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to mark some boxes. I've already done that, so I'll cut to the quick. ADX, this measures momentum. So on a 1 hour basis, I'm looking for stocks that have had decent momentum. That means that they've been moving higher over the course of the last couple of days, and they've got a really nice head of steam. And that is my list of stocks right there. But I want to add some additional criteria. Give me a stock that's got excellent option liquidity. Absolutely, this shouldn't filter out many of these stocks, but I want a stock that's above the prior day's high. That would also be good. I don't think I'm going to get many with heavy volume today because we are in pre-holiday trading. Did you see how my list got shortened instantly? So I'm not going to use that because I want to use a fairly wide net initially. And then what I'm going to do is once I run that search, I'm going to take all of those symbols and I'm going to populate, copy and paste, populate the upper part of this custom search. But there's one thing that I haven't discussed yet. It's a trigger. What could I use as a trigger? Well, the trigger in this particular case is a trade signal that's bearish on a 5-minute basis. And what I want to do, so that tells me that the stock, as strong as it is, on a 5-minute basis, I have a sell signal. And we can take a look at any one of these stocks and we'd be able to see it. So let's take a look at, let's take a look at Roku right now. I'm going to move this off so we can take a look at Roku on a 5-minute basis. Again, this would be a day trading strategy, but you can also use this for swing trading. You would just use longer term time frames. So if I put up the buy and sell signals, there's your sell signal. So it's on a sell signal. Now I would be waiting for it to go onto a buy signal. When it does so, I'm going to get an alert. So again, here's what we're going to do. We're going to save this search and we've got all of our symbols already populated up here. I'm going to clear the upper and I'm going to clear the lower because we are only going to be looking and searching on these symbols now. And what I'm going to be looking for is a trade signal bullish. So all of these super strong stocks that are temporarily in a sell signal, I'm waiting for that to flip to a buy signal. And when that happens, I'm going to get a pop-up alert. So I'm going to save that search and I'm going to name that search. It is a bullish search. So I can name it anyway. I'll just name it day. And then I will put a description in. You can put anything in here. I just want to save and close. It doesn't matter. The description should give you an idea of what the search is looking for. And I can go into my alerts, and there it is right there. And when a new trade pops up, I'm going to get a little alert window here that says, hey, day alert, and it'll give me the symbol, and then I'll know, oh my gosh, Roku, that's a stock that I want to go in and key off of. Now all I have to do on a quiet day like this is just sit back and wait for those alerts to come in. Now I have a couple of other alternatives as well, and this is something else that you can do. It's a little bit more of a manual process, but let's go through that anyway. When you're in quiet trading like this, and let's go in and take a look at, let's say BLNK is a stock that I really like. Might as well give you a little day trading lesson in this regard too. What I look for in a stock is, this is nice that the stock gapped higher, but when it gaps higher, I don't want to see it give back the open. I want to see it continue to push higher. So I'm not crazy about this. Could it form support here after testing that breakout and then go later in the day? Yes. But early in the day, this is not what I'm looking for. I want to look for something that's super strong. So I'm going to go into heavy buying and let's see if we can find something right now that's a perfect example. This is the type of gap that I like to trade. So there's your opening gap. Stock does come back, doesn't test that gap, and then it starts moving higher and it takes out that resistance level right there. That's what I like. And let's go into one that's continuing to make a new high of the day. I'll find one if I keep going. Hopefully. I mean, the market's been pretty soft right here. This is nice too. The thing that I like right now about CRM is you can see these long green candles stacked. That's a really good sign. If you're looking to buy a stock right on the open, it's what I call buying stupid. A very disciplined trader will have a really hard time buying anything like this without a compression or a pullback. But when you get these long green candles stacked one on top of the other with heavy volume, it's going higher. And you just got to buy stupid. So you buy it, and then eventually you'd be taking profits on a compression up in here. But why I like this for a day trade is the fact that the stock is not giving back any of the gains. So that's good. And this would be the type of stock that I would want to continue to look at. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop an alert line. I'll click on that high there. I'll click on that high right there. And now I've got a downward sloping trend line. So if the stock just kind of flatlines and then boop, get a little bit of a rally, I'm going to know because that trend line will be breached. But I like the fact that it has been able to hold the gain so far. Just going to click through a few more of these and we'll see if we can find anything else. This is a good example of a stock that I would not want to buy on the open, but that I would be inclined to short. Gap higher, long red candle, right out of the gate, closing on its low. That's a warning sign because we took out all of that strength right there, and now it's drifting lower. Now you're going to get a couple of bounces typically on a stock like this. If that downward sloping trend line is intact and you've taken out that opening gap, that little blip is just going to be a bearish flag that you can short. You got to let these come all the way in, then you got to let them compress for a while. You're going to get a couple little head fake pops up and down. Eventually, once it flatlines, it should start to recover, but this is a great day trading short. So we'll continue to go through. That's another pattern you can look for. I'm just looking for a stock that opened and is close to its high right now. And I'm not able to find one. Not great, but again, the point here is set your downward sloping trend lines. That way, when that stock regains itself, you're going to get a trade alert when that downward sloping trend line is breached to the upside. I hope this lesson has helped you. Those custom alerts are really, really nice, especially on a quiet day like this. Market's not going to go anywhere. We're in pre-holiday trading, but there's some really, really strong stocks. They get a little bit ahead of themselves. They pull back. That dip is what we want to buy. That's why we're looking for that sell signal to get flipped to a buy signal. Once that happens, we know we've got an excellent opportunity for a stock that wants to move higher. Have a great Easter. We'll see you Monday. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.